What's up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That is Scott Savage. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and you can find Scott at Savage. Scott, dude, we took a look at the doc this morning and thought, yeah, it's a little light, but dude, he's got some big topics today. What a show we have jam-packed because Epic Games lets devs check out the Unreal Engine 5 demo. More Pokemon is on the way. An Xbox-Bethesda showcase is locked in for E3. Dude, we got a good show, man.
Oh, yeah.
So what'd you do last night before we get going? Besides eat a ton of food, because we just talked about that.
Well, eating a ton of food is my hobby. But in addition to that, I'm still working through Control.
How's that
It's a very
going?
interesting game. If anybody's aware of the SCP universe, which is like a science fiction kind of co-writing project, it's a lot like that, which sounds obscure, but what it really means is like it's playing the X-Files as a video game. And I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Well, else is cool is Epic Games shares stunning new video showing off the Unreal Engine 5. Dude, this thing is incredible. Using Lumen and Nanite technology, Unreal Engine 5 takes gaming even further, using movie assets and lighting techniques that make immersion all the more possible. Today, Epic Games revealed a new tech demo showcasing the power of Unreal Engine 5, including more information and assets for developers to use immediately. Epic Games took to its blog once more to show gamers and developers alike what the future looks like, while also allowing for these assets to be available as an early access build through the company's launcher. Dude, this is a huge move. The next world of the Unreal Engine is absolutely stunning. We saw a demo not too long ago, actually, and we checked that out. Scott, you and I think, watched it live that day.
I was gonna ask you if that was indeed the kind of trailer for this, but it was.
Absolutely.
And my, was that impressive in their little their presentation they put on was mind-blowing at the time.
Yeah, this is the future of what we're going to see now moving forward with video games. We just saw recently Coalition moving over to Unreal Engine 5 as well. They're going to be using this technology and having it power their next-gen games when it comes to the world of Xbox. But here's the thing. It kind of makes me a little nervous for those on last-gen Xboxes, Scott. They gonna be stranded, you think?
Or are they either that is going to be the case, or are these development companies going to be split between making two different versions of the game?
Yeah, sure.
That could introduce a lot of problems that way, especially for cross-play purposes.
Well, we've seen the hiccup right now with cross-gen capabilities, and then sometimes when you're not as powerful as the next gen console, it's hard to keep up sometimes, right? And we're starting to see a lot of that struggle come through. But with the power of the Unreal Engine 5, I think they have the ability to downscale when it comes to last gen consoles and keep it moving forward and keep it going brighter when you get into the next gen consoles, because dude, this is insane to watch. The realism and realistic physics, the lighting, everything else behind it now just makes it look like we're playing a movie. You know what I mean?
And the texture popping in, the abilities that they can have with the textures that they're adding is, we're talking about billions of polygons.
Yeah.
It's just on a whole new scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm excited personally because we are in the next gen era now, and I'm itching for those next gen experiences, and this is part of that.
No, it is for sure. Over in our Twitch chat right now is Northern Nerdcast. He says no one will be able to use this due to shortages of next gen consoles alone, right? Northern Nerdcast brings up a great point in the fact that no one right now can even find a next gen console. That's the biggest thing. But this is long term, right? If we talk about Coalition, and we talked on them, I think it was last week's episodes, the fact that they are working on another project, but we're not going to see it anytime soon, right? They are learning the ins and outs of Unreal Engine 5 and how do they adapt that to their next iteration of maybe the next Gears or new IP that they're working on. But we are now years out from experiencing anything, I think, that we'll see when it comes to the Unreal Engine 5. I mean, like 4 years away So everything's still on Unreal
Yeah.
4 or Unity and other platforms that will allow developers to make games as of right now for what we are playing. But moving forward, we're going to get into the whole Unreal Engine aspect of game production and stuff. And dude, I am pumped to see what else we can get.
And he makes a good point that there are limited numbers of consoles, and that's a problem on the consumer end. But you know that all the developers got pre-release consoles way ahead of time. The development side is absolutely loaded to take advantage of this. And I liken this to the advance of 3D graphics. Can you imagine if nobody had 3D graphics because N64s only took, they could only produce so many at the time?
Oh man, it's funny because I was just thinking about that back in the day when we played Tomb Raider and it was like a 3D environment. We were blown away then. To now look at Unreal Engine 5 and see the experiences we'll be getting in the future, even the experiences we get now, even on last gen consoles, were phenomenal. Oh, yeah. So to see what we can get in the future just makes me more and more excited to be a part of this industry and do what we do, Scott. Good things ahead, buddy.
I feel like my father said to this. He said this many times over the years, but now I feel like I adopt the same belief. How good can it get? How long until it just looks like we're looking through a camera at another living being?
Oh yeah, well we're there, right? Like we saw the Unreal face technology that they have going on too. It's insane. Northern Nerdcast again back in the day. Now you've made me feel old. That's right, because Northern Nerdcast is joining us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG. But if you can't join us live each and every day, it's no big deal. Hit us up at InsideTheGame.ca, YouTube, podcast services, and streaming networks, TV networks around the world. Scott, let's move on to Pokemon Legends. Why don't you take this one? Because you're more of a Pokemon guy than I am.
All right. Yeah, I am by no means a Pokemon all-star, but I do have interest dating all the way back to Pokemon Yellow.
Sure.
But in terms of new Pokemon, that's always on the horizon. Don't worry. It is indeed always on the horizon. There's Pokemon Legends Arceus. There is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So they're going back through Diamond and Pearl and reintroducing those in the current generation on Nintendo Switch. And these are supposedly going to be released in time for the holiday season this year.
Nice.
Now that's excluding Arceus. Arceus is actually on slate for the following month, which puts it into 2022. But both of these other, that being Pearl and Diamond, both of these other titles are releasing November 19th.
Well, there's something to be excited for. I'm sure Nate just covered Pokemon Snap, so I'm sure he'll be jumping into these ones as well. He is our Pokemon guy in the show. We always leave that up to Nate. And sometimes you join him as well, Scott. But let's get into what we're excited for, because E3 is just around the corner, and so is the Bethesda and Xbox E3 2021 showcase date is set. They're locked and loaded, Scott. We're less than a month away from E3 2021, and Microsoft has already confirmed that a part of that, a part of that will be joint. Man, that is a messed up phrase right there, Scott. They, let's fix this. All right, so either way, Xbox Bethesda showcase coming. They're going to be in there. The Xbox E3 2021 showcase is officially set for a special live stream event that will take place on June 13th, Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So what's that put us at? 1 o'clock Eastern? I think is how that's going to go. Xbox Games General Marketing Manager Aaron Greenberg has confirmed a few details regarding the event via the Xbox Wire blog, offering a small tease as to what gamers can expect. In the latest blog post, Greenberg confirmed that the show will focus on Xbox Game Studios, some neat projects that Bethesda is working on, and a showcase of talent from the game creators who share their passion globally. The show is estimated to last about 90 minutes. So about an hour and a half, Scott, is what we can see. We're going to see packed with reveals, more details about cemented partnership, a holiday release schedule, and some more surprises. Okay, so let's get into it. What are you expecting to get from this? Here's what I don't want, though, Scott. Remember we got the ID at Xbox Showcase? I don't want that experience again.
Yeah, hopefully something a little more action-packed and paced. pacing is very important when it comes to these kinds of shows, but
Yeah.
90 minutes is a lot of time to fill. So I worry that we may fall into the same kind of reaction. But there's a lot that Bethesda could be working on, so it really, there's a lot of time between now and then to kind of have some guesses going in of what we can expect.
Well,
but do you think we're going to see something? This is the big question. Do you think we're going to see something about Elder Scrolls?
Ooh, I don't think so. I don't honestly. I don't think so. I think right now their focus is Starfield. I think that's where they take off next, and they leave. Oh man, you think you'll see anything from Scott? Now you got me thinking. Maybe a small tease, if anything, but very, very slight. I think their main focus will be Starfield. That's what they're going to focus on. What it states here is a showcase of talent from the game creators. Does that mean we're getting into that interview section again, Scott? That's what kind of got me worried right there, was that phrasing. So I'm a little skeptical to see what happens. But they also talked about cemented partnerships. Are we going to get another announcement that Xbox has purchased another studio, you think?
It's absolutely possible. I don't know if they're ever going to stop.
Well, they're definitely on a roll, right? That's the thing. Do you think we'll see more on Elder Scrolls, the next Skyrim, anything at all?
I think it'll be just a very slight tease, if anything. I think you're correct on that one.
Yeah, well, man, can you imagine if they did though? That would blow things up for sure.
There's another one that I'm not sure of the state of the Fallout franchise, or if Bethesda has license to the next title. I'm not actually 100% sure on that, but I am sure we'll know after this event.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see. We got to see something, right? Like Fallout 76 has kind of made a turnaround. Nate's talked about it a lot, actually, as of recently. He jumped back in, which kind of surprised me all the heck. But he was there, and he said it was, you know what, it's really, really good compared to where it launched. Where do they go next with Fallout, Scott? Do they bring in more adaptations of Fallout 76, or do they go back to the roots and have the NPCs back? Because that was the biggest thing, right? The world was empty.
Yeah, there was a lot of missteps in 76 that they were pretty quick to acknowledge. And in the following year and a half, they absolutely did add and turn that game around. That restores a lot of faith that I had lost previously, I should say, based on 76. I think if we do see something in Fallout world, the Fallout universe, I think it'll actually be a remaster of 1 and 2. Now, I don't know if that's 100% possible because of licensing legal reasons. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But we are kind of reaching the edge, I think the ending edge of the remaster era.
Man, I hope so. I really do.
But at the same token, Fallout 1 and 2 were top down. There's a lot of ways they could expand or build on those games.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of possibilities here. We'll see what happens there in the future. But what's going on with over in BlizzCon, Scott, is, well, BlizzCon 2021 canceled. Hybrid event rescheduled for early in next year. BlizzCon won't be having a big event, while most shows have taken the digital approach this year, including the upcoming E3 and assortment of big summer game announcements. BlizzCon is not having an event in 2021. However, there will be a show earlier next year. In a blog post, executive producer of BlizzCon, Shaharlan Smith, said that a global event is being planned for early part of next year, but we don't want to let too long go before we connect with everyone again. Dude, I know COVID has really had a strain on a lot of aspects when it comes to the video game industry and just the world in general. Showcases now, like this one, like E3, is being rescheduled as a digital event. No longer are we going to be going to have these, big conventions where everybody piles into one arena, stadium, event place, wherever. And now they've gone digital instead. Everybody's jumped on that digital bandwagon. Do you think this is a good move for BlizzCon to be taking a back seat this year when everybody's kind of coming back around?
Oh, well, it's hard to say because they are such a juggernaut. They
Oh,
absolutely could survive without putting on a show. It's not
that's fair.
necessary for their survival. But I think this is the wrong move just because it gets you out of the spotlight. Of course, everybody is competing for the spotlight in E3. That's kind of part of the excitement. But uh, you, you know, when I see the title in regarding this and it says canceled,
Yeah.
my first thought is, oh no, who said something and what did they say on Twitter? But unfortunately, it's more of a global problem than that. COVID is still not dealt with.
Yeah,
Vaccination numbers are increasing, a lot of states are reopening, stateside,
sure.
but we're not there yet. And I wish we could go back to the days where
Oh man.
canceling was just based on personal misstep.
Absolutely. Well, I know they'll move on to brighter things. So we'll check out an early event next year. We'll see what happens there. Who also is getting an early event is actually Overwatch. Will be getting a beta and maybe even a ping system. A few Overwatch 2 developers from Blizzard hosted a big Reddit AMA and addressed a host of topics with fans about everything from high-level design goals to very specific features. One of the least surprising reveals made on the AMA was that Overwatch 2 will be getting a beta. That's no big deal, no big surprise there. Most Blizzard games, certainly those where multiplayer is the main focus, get pre-release tests. Scott, that's always necessary, I think, in any kind of day and age where we're featuring a multiplayer aspect. We even saw just Outriders take it a beta, right? We all jumped in on that one, got to test it out. It ran smoother connection wise, I think, on the beta than it did on actual release.
Yeah,
But
something happened along the pipeline there.
yeah,
But no, it's important to note for Overwatch, there's a lot of balancing. There's a lot of things they really need to figure out. So it's not going to be perfect when it first hits beta or likely at first release. But they need to get that testing in somehow. And in a game that's so uh, just high intensity like Overwatch,
yeah,
one technical bug in the combat, if that makes a team fight, go a certain predictable way,
sure.
there will be people that take advantage of that. It's a very competitive scene, despite
Oh
the
man,
kind of comfortable graphics. So
yeah.
I'm happy to see that there is a beta.
No, it's good to see that that's coming. Also, the big reveal from the AMA was to be the addition of a ping system. Since the launch of Apex Legends, practically every developer of a major multiplayer game has either introduced its own take on the innovative system or got asked to do so by players. Apex ping system made it possible for strangers to effectively communicate without the need of a mic. Dude, it's such a smart move. Honestly,
Oh
that ping
yeah.
system was one of the greatest things ever introduced to the world of video games, especially when it comes to the world of multiplayer. There's games
Oh,
now that come out, Scott, that were like, oh, is there a ping system? No. Why not?
yeah, where is the ping? It's odd that it's missing now. That's actually funny. And we use the ping in
Oh,
Rainbow Six Siege. It's it actually goes back much further than Apex. Battlefield was one that had a very advanced ping system. So it's good to see that this is just the trend now that it is included. I think it's smart, and I think it would be lacking without it, really.
absolutely. No, I think everything now should kind of have some sort of ping system. It just helps because a lot of people don't want to use their mic with strangers, which makes total sense because sometimes the community is not exactly what we all want at times. But so a ping
Yeah, it
system is one
hasn't.
way to get around things, right? But we'll see what
Yeah, the
happens.
mic system and the talking to strangers and such it hasn't really been fun since Halo 3.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's check out something new from Bungie. New IP may be a multiplayer character action game. Bungie has posted a new job listing that seems to suggest this next non-Destiny IP will be a multiplayer character action game, which is still early in development.
Ooh, Bungie Watch?
Right? Destiny developer Bungie has posted a job advert for an incubation sandbox designer for its new multiplayer action game currently in incubation. So what do you think we're going to get from the next IP out of Bungie?
I see I see something akin to. I have to be careful with the wording because I don't want to give off the wrong idea here. But
Sure.
I make the joke, Bungie Watch. I really do think that could be what's in development. Something character based, something with powers. Each character is different. Balancing team composition maybe being really important. I see them doing something more of a thoughtful kind of team engagement.
Yep.
As opposed to the normal run and gun kind of Twitch shooter that they're known for. And coming off of all the Destiny experience, I think they could craft that really well, actually. I think this is a good opportunity.
No, for sure. I'm definitely excited to see what else they come up with, right? They've been so focused on the first-person shooter kind of genre that I'd like to see them branch out into something new and exciting. So
yeah, no, likely this is still going to be a shooter, but it gives them the opportunity to break away from the molds that they've created.
Well, they introduced third-person perspectives in Destiny, right? So maybe they'll take a whole third-person perspective in the new IP. We can see our character the entire time. That would have me pretty excited.
That would be quite different than their normal stuff. That
Absolutely. Scott, let's jump into PlayStation Plus games for June. We're going to get Operation Tango, which is a co-op experience. Definitely check that one out. I'm pretty excited for that. That one's on the PS5 version only, which is, I think you have to buy the PS4 version, but it's coming to PS5. Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, Star Wars Squadrons, buddy, is going to be there as well. Nice. Definitely take that one. That was a great time. I even played it in VR. That game is fantastic in VR. If you get the opportunity, check that out. You normally worry about motion sickness. Scott, I did not get motion sickness whatsoever playing that. Surprised me all.
I was like a puppy clawing at the window of the hospital, listening to you guys talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Don't forget, you also have until May 31st to add Battlefield 5, Stranded Deep, which is a wicked game, and Wreckfest Drive Hard. Now, we also have Xbox Games with Gold for June. We have King's Bird. Dude, that game actually looks pretty cool. There is Shadows Awakening. Then from there, you're going to get Neo Gen Battle Coliseum and Injustice Gods Among Us 1. What? 1? Scott, why not 2? Mortal Kombat 11 is out. Dude, like, 1 is like 10 years old. So,
on that note, I'm surprised we don't have Injustice 5 coming out around the corner.
Well, I just kind of, like, 1. Well, I'm going to use the famous words by our one and only ITG Parker, Nate Doom Guy over at Twitter. That's weak sauce, man. That's all that is.
I'm not sure if I independently came up with weak sauce on my own also 10 years ago independently, but Neo Geo is kind of a standout for me. I wasn't even aware of what Neo Geo was, but it seems to be a fighter.
Yeah.
It kind of looks similar to Virtua Fighter in my eyes, but it's one that I haven't heard of or seen in a very long time. So it's introduced back into the ecosystem. It might spur on a new fighting game genre, or a trend, I should say.
Yeah, that sounds cool to me. I might check it out too. I haven't checked out it before, and I'm a big fighter guy, so we'll have to take a look. Scott, why don't you take the game updates and what new releases we have for today?
All right. Well, we have one game update. This one is very interesting to myself. I have to mention this. Dead by Daylight is getting a crossover inclusion with Resident Evil characters. This is really exciting to me, having just come off of some Resident Evil myself. And this is featuring Leon, Jill, and Nemesis as the bad guy. Now, that brings me on some sort of flashbacks, so some PTSD I have from Resident Evil 3, where Nemesis follows you through the entirety of the game, just being, well, a nemesis.
Yeah, no thanks.
So I think that fits really well, actually, in the world of Dead by Daylight. I think that'll be a very interesting inclusion, and I like seeing Resident Evil spread and flourish. So I'm very happy to see that update. This will be paid. It is a paid update. That's worth noting. And I have the price of $11.99. Now I believe that it is American, but this will be available on June 15th.
Nice.
But as for games released today, There are several here. Some interesting ones again to my eyes. We have Earth Defense Force World Brothers, EDF, coming to the PlayStation 4, the Switch, and the PC.
Nice.
Oddworld Collection coming to the Switch.
Very cool, dude.
That one is something I have to get into. The Idolmaster Starlit Season, PS4 and PC. The Longest Road on Earth is coming to the PC. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormground. This is one that I'm going to have to investigate myself. This is coming to the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch.
That's a neat title right there, buddy.
And then Super Bomberman R Online coming to the PC, PS4, and PS5. Now that reminds me of a title that I played maybe 15 years ago, actually. And then another standout that I'm going to have to investigate immediately after this is MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. That is coming to the PC, the Xbox One, and the Series X console.
Awesome. That's quite the lineup we got today.
Yeah, it is packed, as is the way nowadays.
That's for sure. Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. Don't forget, you can join us live every day, Monday to Friday, over at twitch.tv/theofficialitg. But if you can't join us live, no big deal. Hit us up later at Discord, InsideTheGame.ca, YouTube, podcast services, and of course, TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and this is ITG Daily. We'll see you later inside the game.